Desperate Housewives is considered one of the greatest television dramas of all time, with the series combining romance, secrets, murder, crimes, and the struggles of everyday life all into one series. As the series itself won 7 primetime Emmys throughout the 180 episodes and 8 seasons. Throughout the series, we certainly see our fair share of crimes committed, lies, and romance. But in the early moments of the series, audiences were still waiting for its breakthrough moment, as this is something that we had seen in other shows before, such as The Sopranos' 5th episode of the first season in college, that shows the true colors of Tony Soprano and the brutality that lies within this family man, or the season 4 finale of Breaking Bad that displayed the extreme lengths Walter White was willing to go to in order to protect himself. However, in Desperate Housewives, outside of a few key moments early on, such as the death of Rex, Carlos going to jail, and the death of Martha Huber, the series itself was looking for its breakthrough episode. However, audiences and critics didn't need to look any further, as the 7th episode of the 3rd season, titled Bang, was the episode that changed the series forever. Before we get started, if you're new here, be sure to click subscribe and click the bell to get notifications on all upcoming film and television videos. In order to fully understand what happens in this episode, first we need to look at what takes place prior to this infamous episode. In the previous episode titled Sweetheart I Have to Confess, we learned that Tom and Nora had kissed, and at a dinner with Orson and Bree, Harvey Bigsby confessed to Orson that he was having an affair. The episode after this one begins with Carolyn discovering that her husband Harvey was having an affair thanks to Bree spilling the beans. This then proceeds to Carolyn shooting at her husband Harvey in the grocery store that he owns. After being shot at, he locks himself in his office, and at this point, Carolyn then decides to hold the current shoppers hostage as a result of Harvey's adultery, and this is where the hostage nightmare begins. At this point in the series, there was an ongoing conflict between Nora and Lynette, and Tom and Kayla were caught right in the middle of it, as the two can be seen arguing about the current situation of Nora taking Kayla to Mexico. And it's during this conversation that the two hear a gunshot, the same gunshot of Carolyn shooting at her husband. In the beginning of this episode, the directors, writers, and production crew do a tremendous job at the continuity editing and laying out all the scenes correctly, making sure that they flow in sync with one another. We watch Julie's friend Austin fail at trying to steal a bottle of whiskey from the store, which makes Harvey go down an aisle in the grocery store, as this is the same aisle that Lynette and Nora are arguing in. Also coming into this aisle is Carolyn, who confronts Harvey about his affair. By having Austin and Julie, Lynette and Nora, and Carolyn and Harvey all involved in this aisle in some way, this provides us with foreshadowing that all characters will be connected during this episode. Throughout the episode, there's 4 storylines that we follow. Of course, there's the hostage situation that is the main storyline, but the others are arguments between characters. As we watch Susan and Julie get in an argument, Nora and Lynette are fighting over Tom and Kayla, and Gabby and Carlos can't stop arguing during their beginning stages of their divorce. While Bree hosts a watch party at her house for excitement, the tone of the party quickly changes once it's revealed that Carolyn is the hostage taker. It's here where we see guilt and remorse that rest on Bree's face, as she feels it's ultimately her fault as to why Carolyn chose to take the store hostage. Here, we learn from a phone call from Edie that it's Susan's daughter Julie and Lynette who are just a few of the many trapped inside. It's from this point on in the episode that the tension increases, as we cut back and forth from the scene inside the grocery store to outside with Tom and Susan, as Tom and Susan anxiously wait and watch for their loved ones to come out. Things only continue to escalate once Carolyn discovers that Nora kissed Tom, as she then proceeds to shoot her. Word spreads quickly to the news station that is covering the story, leading all those watching the situation at Bree's house to watch in fear out of the possibility of one of their friends being the wounded victim. After this, we watch Lynette comfort Nora as she proceeds to slowly die. This causes Lynette to bravely address Carolyn about her response to her being cheated on, and how we all should deal with it, but not deal with it by shooting strangers. Carolyn then attempts to shoot Lynette after her brave words, but thanks to the perfectly timed throw by Art Shepard using a can, Carolyn is knocked off balance, resulting in Lynette only getting shot in the shoulder and dropping the gun. Carolyn and Austin struggle for the gun, while one of the hostages picks it up and shoots Carolyn in the head, resulting in the death of Carolyn and the end of the episode. Following this intense, shocking, and gut-wrenching episode that just absolutely plays with the viewers' emotions, the series took on a new life of its own by showcasing more realistic events just like this one. Whether this was a tornado shredding through the town, a plane crashing on the lane, and Lynette getting diagnosed with lymphoma, all of these and plenty of more crazy storylines wouldn't have taken place without the infamous Bang episode, as this episode truly changed the series of Desperate Housewives forever. The episode itself garnered millions of viewers, raking in 22 million viewers the time of its airing, and the episode is the series' highest rated episode on IMDb. The performance of Lynette Scavo also earned Felicity Huffman a Primetime Emmy nomination. What are your thoughts about this intense episode that changed everything for the series? Let me know down in the comment section below. For more film and television analysis, be sure to keep it locked here, right here, on this channel.